Hey, friends. Welcome to my YouTube podcast. My name is Attorney Elaine Antonio Bordeaux. Today's episode po, we're going to talk about J1 waiver based on exceptional hardship. Actually po, itong topic na ito ay nirequest sa atin. This was requested by some of the teachers, by some of the J1 teachers. And nirequest po nila ito because marami pong mga teachers, mga J1 visa holders coming from the Philippines are subject to what you call two-year home country requirement o yung tinatawag nating 212E. Okay? So, this means that at the end of the visa or the program of the J1 visa holder, she has to go back to the Philippines and comply with this requirement. This means na hindi siya pwedeng basta-basta mag-adjust ng status while in the United States because of this requirement. Now, some teachers or some J1 visa holders, meron po tayong mga ibang topic about J1 visa. Ang J1 visa, this is very expansive. It covers not only teachers, yung mga hospitality workers, engineers, so almost all professions, may mga J1 interns, trainees, yan. So at the end of the program, kapag mayroong 212E condition, the J1 visa holder must return to her country of origin. Ayun po ang rule. So in this episode, we're going to talk about J1 waiver based on exceptional hardship. So may mga grounds ba na pwedeng mag-lift or mag-remove ng condition na yon? Meron naman po, and we call that waivers. So you have to request a waiver based on these grounds. And for today's episode, we are going to talk about J1 waiver based on exceptional hardship. Okay. Ayan. So before we start, I'd like to introduce myself, Attorney Elaine Antonio Bordeaux. Been practicing U.S. immigration, been serving the immigrant communities since 2008 po. And if you would like to schedule a consultation, mag-text kayo 713-315-7793 or mag-email eb@ebordlaw.com. Okay, so what is the J1 exceptional hardship waiver? Okay. It's a legal remedy that allows a J1 visa holder to remain in the United States without fulfilling the two-year home country or home residence requirement. If they can prove that returning to their home country would cause exceptional hardship to their qualifying relatives. So, pinag-usapan natin itong exceptional hardship. Okay. So, hindi lang to basta hardship, ha? Ang requirement po ay exceptional hardship. As I said, there are many grounds. So we're just talking about this one particular ground to request for a waiver, okay, of this condition. So sino ang mga qualifying relatives? Pwede ang U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, so asawa. Pwede rin po ang U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident child. Now, ang hardship must relate to this qualifying relatives or relative, hindi po dun sa J1 applicant. So, whenever I represent a client, I always emphasize and I always explain na ang hardship ay hindi yung hardship ng J1 applicant. Ang hardship must relate to the exceptional hardship that the qualifying relatives will suffer. So ito po yung exceptional hardship nung qualifying relative, hindi nung J1 applicant, ha. Kasi minsan whenever whenever you submit evidence, yun nga po ang common ground ng dismissal nitong waiver request is yung hardship relates to the J1 applicant. Hindi po. So in preparing your waiver request, dapat po ang exceptional hardship must be caused to the US citizen or lawful permanent resident. So hindi po ito doon sa J1 applicant. Ito po ay doon sa spouse or child na US citizen or lawful permanent resident. Okay, clear? Yan. So ano po ang nagko-constitute ng exceptional hardship? So the hardship must be beyond the normal emotional or financial difficulties of family separation or relocation. So, ang nangyayari kasi sa J1 situation, kung nakapag-asawa po ng US citizen or your permanent resident, of course, yung spouse ay nandito sa Amerika at ikaw ay babalik sa iyong bansa. 'Di ba merong family separation? So what does it mean? Yung regular ba or normal emotional difficulty, enough na ba? Hindi po. So it must be beyond that. Okay? So USCIS will evaluate hardship based on the totality of the circumstances. Both if, so ito po, merong dalawang situations. If your qualifying relative will go with you to your home country, and if your qualifying relative will remain in the United States without you. Okay? So, kailangan kang magpakita ng exceptional hardship in both situations. Okay? Especially when you're talking about when your basis ay exceptional hardship sa iyong esposo. So, kung siya ay sasama sa'yo sa Philippines, say you're from the Philippines, and will stay there for 2 years for the duration of your home country requirement, or kung maiiwan naman siya dito sa Amerika habang ikaw ay nagko-comply with your 212E requirements. So, anong exceptional hardship niya? Okay, so example of factors that may support a claim of exceptional hardship. So whenever I evaluate a case, whenever I prepare an application for my client, ito po ang ating mga tinitignan and na posibleng maging basehan ng matinding hardship, okay? Number one, medical issues. Kung meron pong serious health condition that cannot be properly treated in the Philippines. Okay? Pangalawa po, psychological impact. Mental health issues such as anxiety, PTSD, depression, that would be aggravated by separation or relocation. So, dalawang scenario, di ba? Either separation, magsiseparate kayo dun sa asawa mo o sa anak mo, or relocation, physically magmumove siya kasama mo papunta ng Philippines while you do the 212E. So, ano ba yung psychological impact noon? Okay? Kung magkakaroon ng anxiety, mental health issues, yan, importante po. Educational disruption, okay, especially for US citizen children. Relocating might significantly impact their education or language development. Country condition, ayan, dangerous or unstable conditions in the J1 applicant's home country. Ayan po. Kung delikado, nako, maraming mga um, may mga areas tayo in the Philippines na masyadong maraming activities ang mga terrorist, okay? And pwede nyo pong isite yun. May mga places tayo sa Philippines na talagang napakataas ng krimen. May mga places tayo sa Philippines na matindi rin ang mga uh, uh, outbreaks. Ito po yung health concerns, health risk, katulad ng dengue. Yan po. So, titingnan po yan, and then you have to support it, of course, ng mga documents, but these are factors that you can consider. Okay? So yung dangerous or unstable conditions, yan, yung mga risk ba sa mga Americans? May mga warnings ba na huwag pumunta dito sa mga lugar na to at masyadong delikado para sa mga Americans? So all of those you have to check, okay? Next is financial hardship, loss of income or inability to access employment or financial support abroad. So of course, this is very important. Yung American spouse mo ba, kung pupunta sa Pilipinas at maninirahan doon, ay magkakaroon ba ng hanap buhay? Ayan. O kaya, magkukos ba ito ng severe financial hardship? Because in the first place, number one, mawawalan siya ng trabaho. Okay? Paano na kung may mga responsibility dito sa Amerika na maiiwan? So say may mortgage, may apartment, may sasakyan, may mga babayaran. Ayan, alam mo naman ng buhay Amerika, 'di ba? Bills, 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 'di ba? Sabi nila. So importante itong financial hardship. I had one case na yung American spouse ay isang pharmacist at kung siya ay uuwi, sasama sa kanyang esposo sa Mexico, ay mawawalan siya ng hanap buhay and mawawala rin ang kanyang lisensya. And of course, marami siyang responsibility, may bahay na binabayaran, maraming um, bills na binabayaran, and hindi naman siya makakapag-practice as pharmacist in Mexico. Ayan. O kaya naman ay isang member ng military. Kung pupunta sa Philippines at mag-stay doon for 2 years, he will most likely lose his employment kasi hindi naman basta-basta po pwedeng, magpaalam sa iyong employer and say, hey, bye for now for 2 years and then I will be back. Hindi ganun ang totoong buhay. And most likely, you're gonna lose your job and it will cause financial hardship. Another factor, cultural or linguistic barriers. Difficulty adapting to the life in the J1's home country, especially for US-born children. Lalo na po yung mga bata and then even yung mga spouses na they're going to, and those na hindi pa talaga nakapagbiyahe, nakalabas ng bansa, or masyadong iba yung kultura ng kanilang esposo o esposa, ito po ay putting aside cultural or linguistic barriers. Okay. Tayong mga Filipino, 'di ba, we speak English, pero it's not the main language that you use in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, what's very challenging is bawat island ay kanya-kanya ng dialect. Yan. So, meron akong isang case na naging successful din siya and yung American will travel and live kung hindi ma-approve ang waiver sa isang lugar sa Pilipinas na hindi man Tagalog ha, ang salita. So, mas mahirap pa ang dialect. Kaya, isa yun sa mga sinight nating barrier or factor, yung cultural or linguistic barrier. Okay? May mga lugar na mostly, predominantly na hindi Christian, uh, and pwede rin yung isite ng isang J1 visa applicant kung ang esposo niya ay Christian and maybe ang pupuntahan na lugar ay non-Christian and it could be an issue. Okay? So those are the things or factors that you can consider and you must look into in submitting your waiver application based on exceptional hardship. Ngayon, ano po ba ang application process before we proceed? So, pwedeng, di ba, esposo or anak or child. And when we say child, below 21 years old, unmarried. Okay? Marami pong mga factors that you can use. May mga talagang very evident, like say for instance yung medical condition. Kung dito sa Amerika, lalo na yung mga bata, 'di ba? At kanilang education, ang kanilang healthcare, dito talagang ang bata ay hindi pinababayaan ng gobyerno. So kung dadala mo sa ibang lugar and these services are not available, so pwede mong i-consider yon na hardship din ng bata. Lalo na yung mga batang may mga medical condition, no? Pangalawa, yung kahit din po dun sa esposo na may mga sakit, kung hindi available yung medication sa Philippines or kung napaka-costly ng medication sa Philippines, um, and or it's not even available yon. So you have to also support that with documents, with supporting documents. Hindi mo pwedeng basta na lang i-claim itong mga ito and then you don't have anything to support it. Okay. Alright. So, ang application process, itong waiver request mo ay may dalawang agencies na pinagdadaanan. One is the Department of State and then the other one is USCIS. So, pareho kang magsasubmit dito sa dalawang agencies na ito. And then, of course, when you submit your request, you have to support this with your evidence. This evidence may include medical records, psychological evaluations or reports, expert opinions, affidavits of witnesses, country condition reports, at mga, mga articles, mga studies to support your claim. Yan. Now, if USCIS agrees that exceptional hardship exists, the application is sent to the U.S. Department of State Waiver Review Division. Ayun. And then, a final determination is made. Kapag na-approve ang iyong waiver request, then you can, stay in change status. Uh, ang ginagawa ng waiver is that it only removes the condition. Meron ka pa rin kailangan gawin. Either you're renewing a visa or you're, changing status. The approval of the waiver alone is not sufficient, ano? So, kailangan mo pang, meron ka pang another application, which is the main application to submit. So in most cases, it's the application for adjustment of status or change of status. Yung mga nakapag-asawa ng American citizen, they have to, kung merong 212E, kailangan mo nang i-remove itong 212E for them to be able to change yung kanilang status to permanent residence. Okay. Kung ayaw nilang mag-consular process. Yan. So, ano ang dapat gawin? So, you have to prepare a very strong waiver application, but it requires a deep understanding of immigration law and the ability to frame the narrative persuasively. So, meron kang statement na gagawin kung saan doon ka magre-request and doon mo sasabihin ang basihan mo nitong J1 waiver request mo. It must clearly show hardship, exceptional hardship in both separation and relocation scenarios. And then you must also present credible, well organized evidence. And you must demonstrate a cumulative impact of hardships rather than relying on a single factor. So sabi nga a totality of circumstances. Ayan. Okay? Sana po ay inyong, nakatulong itong ating presentation for today. And if you would like to contact our office, my number is 713-315-7793. Mag-text kayo or mag-email eb@eboardlaw.com if you need assistance in submitting your J1 waiver. Kung nakatulong po ito, please like and subscribe and please share this to your friends. Maraming salamat.